NCRP Productions presents New Dallas, an Alien RPG campaign series podcast. Episode 2. Welcome back to the Alien RPG. This session, we're going to start with an actual name, which I don't know that we did last time, but we are playing the New Dallas campaign.
Ooh, New Dallas.
So, I have around the table a couple of people. I'll have you guys introduce yourselves, and we'll recap.
Hey everybody, it's Pedro. I am going to be playing Bloodhound Baird, the Marshal. What? Is that too much?
A lot to follow.
Okay.
Hi, it's Sequoia, and I'll be running Dr. Elizabeth Langtree.
Hi everyone, it's David. I am running Sargent Alister Rictor.
Hi, this is Josh. I will be playing Lance Bateman. Lance Bateman works for the company, but don't let that fool you. He's actually an okay guy.
All right, so last week you guys had all been on a transport ship that had brought you to LV 931. I'm going to make sure I've done that right. It is not. It is. LV 931, now called New Dallas. Terraforming has mostly finished here. A number of you guys are here for different reasons. A couple for, let's see, the atmosphere plants are being removed. Lance, you're involved in part of that. Aside from that, the rest of you are taking on new positions. We learned that Bloodhound was going to be taking over position as Marshal here in New Dallas, but you are actually going to be the lead Marshal for the planet. I said New Dallas. You guys are actually coming into Andie's drop. That is where you will be set. That is the larger of the small settlements here, roughly 6,000 people. So you will be the lead Marshal in Andie's drop, but also lead Marshal for the planet. Dr. Elizabeth Langtree, you are coming here to take over the practice for one of the retiring doctors here, one of the larger facilities, one that's going to be in Andie's drop. Sergeant Rictor, as Marines are set, your job is coming here to take your next position in your next spot. Lance is here as a Seegson lead. He is coming here for a number of reasons, the big one being to start setting up sales to this colony. New Dallas has stayed away from specific corporate control. Weyland-Yutani had set up all of the atmosphere generators here, so there is some basic involvement from Weyland-Yutani, but Seegson would like to get a foothold, and you were sent here to start making that foothold. One of the things that you have here are the worker androids. Your working Joes or your worker Joes are in a number of the mines, which New Dallas is, its main reason for the colonists are the mines. So those are our connections for everyone. You guys leave the transport ship, you take the shuttle down, partway down, you guys hear or feel, I can't remember which, an explosion. Moments later, the front door, the door between the cockpit and where you guys are sitting in the cabin, blows out, and you guys realize that you no longer have a pilot. One of the Marines runs in, takes over position, but immediately realizes it's a two-person job to land this thing. With no one else there with any piloting background, Dr. Langtree goes ahead and takes that position, brings the vehicle down. You guys are not able to get a fix on where you're supposed to land. You land in the nearest safe open space. Once you guys are down, you had expected to be roughly 30 miles off course. That's what the Marine had estimated as you were coming in from what little information he had. Once you make contact with Andie's drop, you realize that you are more like 150 miles off course. You're not even on the mainland, you're on a small island.
Oh.
In talking with command, this is civilian command, not Marine command, Sergeant Rictor is able to ascertain that if you go to an oil rig that's set up along shore, you guys should be safe there. Right now there is an incident that was not extrapolated on back in Andie's drop that precluded them from coming and getting you anytime soon. 6 hours out is the ETA for extraction, last you heard. There is some kind of interference that you're having with radios that you guys kind of got from your time there so far. Once landed, you realize that the grasslands, and we can call it that grass stands 10 to 12 feet high. once the shuttle was set down, you noticed that the grass was actually at the level and slightly higher than where the blown out portion of the front end of the shuttle was. You were able to get the back door open. The Marine who got the back door open, Private Perkins, was pushed out by the concerned colonists, those trying to escape. Eventually, you do get the ramp down. You go out. A number of combat knives and I believe a pocket knife are brought out to take down an area of grass so that you have an open space around the ramp. Everybody is there currently milling around, and we ended last session with the question, whatever happened to the Marine that fell out? And that again is Private Perkins. Sergeant Rictor, you have a complement of 4 Marines with you. That is your squad. This is a squad that you have been with for a period of time already. You know the people in your squad. They include the missing Marine, Perkins, also Stevens, Navarro, and Coombs. And I have this information here at any point if you need. Okay. Additionally, on the ship, there are another 16 passengers besides the 4 of you. There were 24 total on the ship when you came down. Would you guys know? Not yet. You will not know who everyone is yet. We'll go over that once you guys have a reason to do that. So, the question was brought up, what happened to Perkins, and then the frightening question of did we squish him came from Dr. Langtree.
Well, you said he was pushed out by the other non-military personnel trying to exit.
All trying to exit at one time.
So after we already landed, he was pushed out.
Right, after you landed.
So in theory, he should be around here somewhere.
He should be right outside the door. He fell no more than 10 feet into fairly tall grass that had been knocked down. So, I mean, you would have expected it to be simply a bed of grass that he fell into. But one of your Marines, Coombs, comes up and says, Perkins is nowhere to be seen, sir.
Okay, I go on the...
Sergeant. I keep doing that wrong. It's Sergeant, not sir.
You could call me Sarge. Right. Sound off.
Okay, so you get a call immediately. Now it's by voice because you realize the radio is having that crackling problems. Okay. So you get the sound off. You get Stevens, Navarro, Coombs, nothing from Perkins.
Okay. Perkins.
No response.
So
radio or otherwise.
The Colonial Marine personal ballistic armor has a built-in data transmitter. Does the dropship have adequate equipment for me to try and pick up that signal?
The answer is yes, it does. But you already know, and you can go try and mess with it, but you already know that on basic sweep, you're not picking anything up. Whatever kind of interference is here on this island, and they did tell you that there is some odd interference that comes from that island, seems to be affecting a lot of the systems on the ship.
Wow.
Andie's triangle.
If I remember right, last game I was outside with the civilians.
You were one of the first ones out, trying to keep everyone inside the perimeter of the cut grass.
So now that that there's other Marines out there and whatever, what I'm really curious about is I'm kind of want to know what could have happened to the ship. I want to go to the front and kind of look where the explosion was, and if you'll let me, I would like to spend a turn investigating and using my talent.
Okay, so let's start with, do you tell anyone that you leave, or now that everybody seems to be here huddled, nervous but huddled, do you just kind of wander off?
No, because we need to stay safe. So I'll look to the nearest Marine and say, Marine.
Specifically the sergeant, or just whoever's close?
If he's out there,
everybody is out in the clear.
Then if we're all on the current, hey, Sergeant, I'm gonna go look up front, kind of see what I can find out, what might have happened to this bird here.
All right. And I want to stand at the top of the ramp to try and get a visual scan to see what I can see where Perkins might have landed.
So your guess, because of the way the ramp sits, is if he was shoved out, he's got to be under the ramp.
Okay.
Realistically, would Dr. Langtree realize that this guy got squished? Like, I remember saying...
It's improbable. I mean, that could be your immediately, oh my God, we squished him. But then the reality is you look at the ramp and the speed at which it came out, it would have had to come down and then push into him to squish him.
Okay.
Pretty unrealistic.
You think they might have some security? Actually, no. This is corporate stuff. They
right.
Know.
It's not like a garage
either.
door opener that comes down and feels pressure, goes back up. No, it just goes right through the body.
Cool. Can I make my roll?
Well, so Sergeant, you just and I'm fine with it. You just let him kind of go off.
So I don't care if he wants to go look at the ship. I'm more concerned about Perkins at this point. So I got Kuntz, Navarro,
and Stevens, and of course Perkins missing. So you're gonna. So let me walk you up front. So Cole, as you start moving through, are you trying to cut your way to the front, or just pushing your way between the
No,
blades?
I got my big Bowie knife out, and so I'm just, slash.
Hack. So you guys are going to see. So we are in waning light. You're guessing somewhere between 2 and 4 more hours before you don't have light. Anyone who's there is going to notice him going off because everyone else is just kind of milling around. I mean, it's not per se a frightening situation where you are now. You just are on solid ground. Mm-hmm. The ship is smoking, but the ship is not, tick, tick, tick,
fire,
boom,
right?
Right? So overall, people are upset, but calm.
And so I would go into triage as well. Is anyone injured? Did anyone get hurt in the fall?
Okay, so I won't have you make a roll, but because nobody is at that point. But as you move through the crowd, do you approach the Marines at all? The Marines are focused on him. Okay.
I would first look for, is anyone visibly bleeding, and then I would go
There
one
are
by
a couple of small cuts. You're guessing from either pushing their way out, where somebody maybe hooked on one of the open closets, that type of thing, or from people who bumped their head or got a small cut from something
And you
that was loose
said
in the cabin.
calm, so they're not freaking out and running around.
Nobody is.
Okay, yeah. So then I would just go, bleeding first, and then I would go through and say, checking eyeballs, everyone dilated red, all that kind of stuff.
You got 2 possible concussions. Both cases, people where you think what happened is they whiplashed on the explosion and smacked their head potentially on one of the sides of the ship or the cabinets.
Okay, so I would assign them buddies. So are these, just to refresh me, so we have the Marines, we have the player characters, and then there's other people also?
There are 16 additional passengers.
Okay, so I would assign them buddies, and if they came with someone, that would be their buddy. But I would want someone to watch them, if they fall over, tell someone.
Gotcha. All right, so everybody is in pairs to line up of those passengers.
The concussed ones. They would have
specifically each of those.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
I'm going to tell the Marines, Coons, Navarro, Stevens, spread out double arm's length. Give me a 10-meter spread. Let's find Perkins.
Okay. So I'm gonna start, because these are basically concurrent. I'm gonna start with Cole. So he cuts his way up front. You're gonna cut. Now, are you trying to cut your way up front and then climb on the outside of the ship, or trying to back up far enough where you can view the ship from a distance? Because that's a lot of cutting.
Yeah, I'll climb on the ship if it's easier. Right. I don't think this thing's going to blow in the next 2 seconds, right?
No, there's no reason for any of you guys to think that. Okay. Dukes of Hazzard is hundreds of years off TV by now.
Oh, I still watch the reruns.
So you're the only one that thinks it might blow up.
Yeah, I'm the only one, yeah. I'm humming the theme song or something. So I'll climb up, and so let me see. So what I'm looking for is, does this look like an internal explosion? So I'm looking, did it blow out or in?
Okay.
And kind of if I can gauge what could have happened.
And tell us about your talent you're using.
So my talent as a marshal is called Investigator. So when you spend a turn in a room or similar location, I can roll observation. I can make 1 attempt at this. So for each success that I roll, I can ask the GM one of the following questions, and the GM has to answer truthfully, but is allowed to give, if they're mean, vague or incomplete. And the questions are, what happened here? Is there anything hidden here? And if so, where? And are there any details here that are out of place? Something that's out of the ordinary. And then one randomly showed up on here that said, if I throw it back, can you handle that? I don't know where that came from, but apparently it's on.
Okay. Does anyone remember the action time length?
We're just going to bypass that. Don't worry, Josh. Time length is
a turn. No. How long is a turn? There's three time bases.
There's a shift,
you
there's
remember?
a turn.
I think a turn, isn't it like 10 minutes or something like that?
A shift is like 5 to 10 hours or something like that.
I want to say it's 10
but
minutes.
A shift is, I think a turn, might be the shorter one.
A shift is 5 to 10 hours. That would mean probably a turn is 5 to 10 minutes, and a round is 5 to 10 seconds. Am I remembering that right?
I feel like from the last time I played this, a turn was about 10 minutes.
Here we go, official. A round is 5 to 10 seconds. Primarily, that's used in combat. A turn is 5 to 10 minutes, generally used for stealth or observing the front end of a shuttle that's been blown up.
That's very specific.
A shift says it right in here. A shift is 5 to 10 hours, generally used for recovery. All right, so go ahead and give us a roll.
Don't panic. Yes, no panics.
What do you mean no panic? I
so-
can see it right there.
Oh, I mixed the
Are
dice.
you still? Are you still? I'm about to say, wow.
Darn it.
That's a lot of stress.
That reminds me. Is our stress level the same as it was before?
Oh, yeah, good question.
We had 2 stress
Right
levels.
now, everybody's stress level has not gone down because we're still in that position. Now,
you have
at the point where you feel like you are at a safe position, which that would not include Cole as he's going on an unknown world into the unknown wilderness. That would not be the Sarge who is now leading a group to find somebody that's missing. The stress level for you guys can't go down currently. For the other 2 of you, it potentially can. In your case, Dr. Langtree, as you are doing triage, no. So immediately, Lance, you could start
In Lance
relaxing.
Bateman's case, he's identified the richest looking colonists, among them, and so he's over there, kind of buttering him up and telling him, I'm Lance Bateman, I work for Seegson, Employee of the Year 2179 actually, and we make products for everybody. I mean, in fact, look at this watch here. Look, this is a Seegson actually, and the craftsmanship on this is impeccable, and at a fraction of our competitor's price. And not to mention, you should actually take a look through our catalog. In fact, I have a couple of spare catalogs in my briefcase here. If you would just like to take one of these, look at it now, look at it later, take along with you, and let me know if you need anything.
So I rescind what I said earlier. Lance Bateman cannot reduce stress either at this time.
That's his most stress-free environment.
I feel like that
buttering up
person's
rich
not
people.
stressed.
So what the person that you run into is actually one of the 2 concussed people. So
Yeah, he
fish in the
looks like
barrel.
he's shocked.
Right.
He's not even listening. And I'm
His last name is Jones, and he is the land assayer. He's the new assayer for Andie's drop.
cool. That's a good guy to hobnob.
Fred Jones.
A cost when he's concussed.
Yeah.
I know you're having a
Perfect
rough
timing.
time at it, but you know what? You could use a watch.
It would help you.
A Seegson brand watch.
So
That's the key.
presently, nobody is going to be reducing stress. So again, the idea with stress is you can't be doing anything that would need a dice roll. So it would not be combat. It would not be hard walk. It would nothing like that. And you have to feel like you're in a safe area. There is a bit of stress here right now, but realistically, once you've done your time going through the patients, once you have sat for a while, I think the 2 of you can.
So I have calming
I'm always on the
presence
job.
that I can use once per turn.
Yep.
And it lowers my stress and also an ally's if we feel safe. So at present time, we don't feel safe.
Right, but
Okay.
you could use that and calm anyone in the clearing down.
Okay.
At the point when that happens. And so that turn, we're going to do the same thing. That turn will be the turn that we've just had Cole looking at the outside. So, because I'm going to take a little longer with the Sargent in a moment, for you, Cole, as you are taking the time to look over the front, you actually jump up, grab a hold of the sides. I'm assuming you wear gloves.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
going to just go up there.
Right,
But yeah.
so grab a hold of the side, pull yourself up, looking around it. You are reasonably sure that this vehicle was struck by something.
Okay.
The burned edges on it would suggest to you that it was not a big running joke of the seagull. It was something serious. Space seagull, I think. is what we went with.
So that answers one of the 2 questions I had.
Yep.
So what happened here? The other one I had, which I should also mention, I rolled a 1 on my stress die.
Oh, yeah,
and
you
then
should
a,
mention that.
And then a 5. So, but I got 2 successes, so I still succeeded.
Yeah, the 5 doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, no. I rolled the 5 because I have to roll for a stress die.
Oh,
D6,
gotcha.
yeah.
All right, so,
Which
and your stress level currently
is
is
2, so it's a 7, which I think is
So
okay.
the 7, just so you know,
I feel because I remember I think it was like the 6 is really bad, but
nope, 6 and down are fine. So with a 7, nervous twitch.
Okay.
Your stress level, and there's nobody else in short range of you.
So I just
your
go up by
stress
1.
level increases by 1.
All right, sounds good.
So what happens is you get up there and you're seeing a little more smoke
Yeah.
than you had originally thought, and you have been humming the Dukes of Hazzard theme, and you're like, I better get this done quickly. This thing could blow up. But as you start really getting involved with the search, you don't rush away from it, but the stress is still there. The other question, though,
The other question is that are there any details here that are out of place, something that's out of the ordinary?
so I kind of gave it to you in the beginning, but you have burned edges. This was not hitting a rock in space. This was not accidentally bumping a satellite. And I'm saying space in the atmosphere coming down. You were
Yeah.
not in space at the point when you were struck.
This is not a bird.
This is not a naturally occurring situation. There was, I believe, a suggestion that you had been struck. I don't know if that, I know Sargent had mentioned it, but I don't know if you had heard that earlier. You believe that you were struck by something with a purpose.
Yeah.
So possibly a small rocket or a small explosive, proximity mine in the air. That would be weird, but that's not your purview. So that may be something that's there that you don't know about.
Okay, yeah, and after I get all that, especially after the stress, I'm kind of like, okay, I want to get the hell off of this
Yeah.
thing. So I'll climb down and head back in, and my objective at this point is to just report to the sergeant what I found.
Gotcha.
So,
All right. Well, when you get back to the clearing, we'll find out if the sergeant's back at that
Yes.
point. For everybody, when you're not talking, when there's quiet, I'm going to call it quiet around you, you can hear a rustling through these blades of grass. They make more of a scraping sound, like paper on paper scraping sound against each other, more than a clack like bamboo or branches would make. Just they kind of roll up and down each other. I don't know if it's going to be eerie for you because there is such a large number of people and it is still light.
is there a light breeze? Is there a breeze going on?
Yes, there is a light.
Okay,
Yes.
so then that's less
Right.
scary. If there's
Right.
no
Yeah.
wind, then there's...
Sorry,
okay.
should have mentioned that. And a light breeze blowing through them.
And it was expressly stated that we don't know a lot about the flora and fauna of this area specifically.
Specifically this island,
Yeah.
no, you don't. You do know that there's an oil rig here. You don't know why there is not anything connected to it.
Are
There's
these
no
oil
column.
rigs like corporate owned? Is there like a dominant corporation that runs all of these oil rigs? Or are they like various corporations have like staked their claim on
So
different
initially,
wells?
Weyland-Yutani, to get the deal for the atmosphere plants that are down, basically the terraforming.
Cool.
Weyland-Yutani has X number of years control of the outcome.
Okay, that sounds
paying
kind of
paying
familiar.
them similar to what we started when we did in the Arabic countries. So we'll give you the money, we'll give you the seed money to get it going, we'll set the thing up for you. You're going to give us it at a set price for a set amount of time. And it's good enough that this colony is a fairly rich colony. New Dallas, although still a colony in a burgeoning space, is doing okay. I mean, obviously they have enough money to bring in a full-fledged doctor. They are paying a full marshal to come work for them. I'm looking at Lance, but there's no reason for him to be there. So for Sergeant Rictor, you get your crew going. Are you working with them? So
No.
So you're standing waiting?
Yeah, I'm standing at the top of the ramp, and then
Okay.
once they confirm and start their sweep, I want to start looking for Doc and Bateman.
So they're obvious.
Okay.
They're right in the middle of the clearing. This clearing is literally directly, the way I envision it is you guys went down and spread out directly from the front of the ramp. So from your position up there, you can clearly see everyone except for Cole, who just went out, and you can see his trail out, and then your Marines. So your Marines initially start out, they go under. You get a call out very quickly from Coombs. He says, "Hey, Sarge, we've got
Is it Coombs or Koontz?
Coombs."
Coombs, like Coombs.
Yes.
All right.
And he says, "Hey, Sarge, we got something here. There's a puddle of, it looks like black goo to me."
Talk to me, Coombs. What do you mean black goo?
Well, the kind that I wouldn't want to touch. I mean,
Well, then how about your brain tells you don't touch it?
I'm not touching it, sir.
All
And
right.
you can hear him. He's directly under the ramp.
Okay, what about Perkins?
Not here, sir. Do you want us to continue out from this puddle?
Yeah.
Okay. So they
Wait a
start
minute.
moving.
Is the goo? Is it part of the ground?
It's
formation?
on the ground, sir. About maybe a 2 foot by 3 foot, very light puddle.
Okay.
It says, "Hang on." All right.
All right,
So
continue,
right now I
Sweet.
got a slice of this. We're gonna call it grass.
Vegetation.
Vegetation. Thank you, ma'am. So he starts pushing it. He says, it's not really deep. He says, he pulls it up. He says, it's kind of, I don't know, maybe blood, sir?
Okay. You leave that be, and let's find Perkins.
Yes, sir. So now they're moving out farther.
This is being hollered?
Yeah, this is right now him, because the comms aren't working. This is him yelling from under the
So
ramp.
there's a report
up.
of a puddle of blood under the ramp.
He said possibly blood, sir.
Okay. Continue.
And once I get visual on either Doc or Bateman.
You got it.
Okay.
Right
Yeah,
Hey,
Dr. Langtree.
Doc, Bateman. I got a motion to come up the ramp, away from everyone
And you guys
else.
both hear it. It's your choice to ignore him, but it's...
Excuse me, Jones. I'll get right back.
Yeah, I'll
to you.
slap a butterfly on this guy's forehead and then head over.
I'll say, it appears that civilian command has taken an interest in your safety, and so we're now deeming this a military operation, and we're going to have to take you under our protection at all costs and make sure that you arrive safely to the oil rig, at least, for further orders. I just wanted to bring you up to speed on what the situation is. So if you wouldn't do anything untowards or, out of the ordinary or take any unnecessary risks, let us do the heavy lifting, and we should be able to get you safely to the rig.
I'm sure we can comply, Sergeant Rictor.
Yeah, thanks, Sarge, for letting us know you caught up with the situation. Of course, I already knew that was going to be the plan.
You did, you know.
I mean, that's, typical corporate policy. Protect
Kinda
your
like-
most important assets.
Pinch the bridge of my nose and
Right.
breathe.
Just glad you've been caught up to the situation.
But try not to wander off too far and get lost.
Oh,
there,
don't
Bateman
worry.
way.
Don't worry. I have plenty of work to do around here.
I'm sure you do.
You don't have a leash, do you, Sarge?
I don't, but you wander out the sights of my pulse rifle here, and I can't ensure your safety. So I think we should
sounds of
stay close.
gunfire as you guys are talking. Whoa.
Whoa.
Now, so where you're standing, the two of you are up at the top of the ramp. From where you're at, Cole, it's going to be to the back of the shuttle and to the right that you hear it from where you're standing. For you guys, you two are standing on the ramp. Sergeant, you're at the top of the ramp. For all of you, you can hear it directly behind you, which is at the back end of the shuttle again.
Is it a pulse rifle?
Yep.
Sit rip.
So you get a crackle, crackle. Got it. Crackle. No, I didn't.
I'm gonna push Lance further into the ramp and kind of like push him behind me a little bit and
Okay.
try to see if I can see anything out.
So where you are, the sound is behind you, which means through the shuttle.
Oh, it's inside the shuttle?
No, it's not
okay.
inside the shuttle. I'm sorry, it's on the outside.
Yeah.
The Marines have moved under the shuttle and have now moved into the far end. They are doing a sweep in an attempt to find what's happening.
Okay, so if I crane my head out the door, I'm not going to see anything.
No.
Okay.
No. If you want to, you can grab the sides of the ramp, lean your head under
No.
the shuttle, and okay.
But I am going to push Lance further inside.
Yeah, Lance Bateman does not
Inside
resist
the
being
shuttle?
pushed
Yeah.
Oh,
away
so
from danger.
So you've been pushed away from danger
No,
in
no
theory.
fight there. No roll necessary for that.
I'm going to move past the two of them, say,
Down the ramp.
yep, and say, get on board.
All right. So there's then a couple more sporadic shots that seem to be spreading out. From what you're hearing is they seem to be spreading out. This is while you are up at the top there, Cole, inside your investigations.
Okay.
I don't know if you're going to leave. It seems to be the shots are moving away.
Since I'm up there and I'm looking at the pull into the ship,
Yep.
how easy would it be for me to just hop into the ship? I mean, is it
Very easy.
So then, at this point, I'm just gonna be like, "Oh, son of a bitch!" and I'm gonna pull out my gun, hop into the ship, and just kind of run towards the ramp. And I want to get to the civilians.
Perfect. Go ahead and give me.
Well, you didn't say there was a roll. It was easy.
Give me a mobility roll.
Okay.
It is easy.
So you're saying the shots are moving away.
The shots are moving away
If you're
from
stressed
you
enough,
guys
you might
in
trip
the
over
opposite
something.
direction of the ramp opening on the shuttle. So they have moved
Yeah, it didn't matter.
under the
Yeah.
shuttle, found Perkins under the ramp. They found the puddle of goo where Perkins should have been.
Okay.
Right? Or that general area. They have moved, on your order, they have moved under the shuttle and out the other side. So opposite side of the opening where you guys are at, opposite side of the clearing.
Okay.
And have moved farther into, I'm not going to call it the forest, but into the grasslands. And then there is sporadic fire. Now the sporadic fire, it seems to be splitting away from itself. Meaning one shot goes to the left, one shot by your ears is kind of going straight and then slightly to the right.
Okay.
Oh, I got 0 successes.
0 success. So you come in, you kind of slip a little, but you're inside the ship. From where you are inside, you can see straight down the center of the shuttle. You can see both Lance and Dr. Langtree, Sergeant Rictor.
So I say, ceasefire, damn it, sound off.
And you're hollering into the mic.
Yeah,
right?
they're trained Marines. They're going to
Yep.
do this.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
They're not going to just start randomly firing.
So as you pull up, there's crackling, and then you hear down, and that's the only yell you hear.
We're close enough to where we don't need, we can
Yeah, no.
yell at each other, right?
No, you are.
Well,
the
my orders
distance
were
far-
10 meters, so that's not very far.
I missed 10 meters.
Yes,
I
I
thought
said
you
a
said
10
span out.
I said double arms length, 10 meter spread.
Oh, my apologies. I thought the 10-meter spread was... All right, so that is I will back it up. There is an initial shot, and then somebody hollering back without the crackle. Sarge, there's something moving.
Okay. That's where I moved. Then at that point, I moved down the ramp.
Well, so you don't hear the gunfire. Boy, we have to back all this up.
Sorry about that.
You don't
Should we
hear the
just
gunfire.
reset and just start?
Yep,
Okay.
so I can reset. So,
Yeah, it was double arms length, 10-meter spread, perimeter, to sweep for the body.
You've gone ahead, you've brought them up, Langtree and
So we're like in the doorway.
Langtree and Bateman are on the ramp.
Okay,
You're
on the
facing them. Cole is at the front end. He's just pulled himself up into the circle of the exploded hole for investigation. And you hear one of your Marines will holler in, Sarge, we got movement.
Okay. What is it?
Not sure.
Okay. Well, give me do you have a visual?
Nope, just movement through the grass. There's no one ahead of us that we know of, other than Perkins. Hey, and then they clicks and two of them yell out, Perkins! Is that you, Perkins?
Okay. And so they haven't fired though.
No,
they
there's
have.
now
Okay,
not
okay.
been a
They
fire.
have not. Okay, they have not fired. All right. So I say, hold on, God damn it. Right. So I come down the ramp and I'm going to try and group up with the rest of the Marines.
That's easy. You go
Right.
you go
Go
directly
down,
under,
all right.
and you're on the other side.
Try and-
So the two of you are now inside the
Now
ship,
for a chance.
standing right inside the doorway alone at the top of the ramp.
I'm gonna,
Just to clarify, there was 0 gunfight.
There was 0 gunfire.
Okay, so then I would not have shoved Lance.
Right. Which means you're just standing there.
Yeah.
But the Sarge did move past you down the ramp, and now is done off the ramp, hopped, and disappeared under the shuttle.
Dr. Langtree, you should take a look at our new line of pharmaceuticals. You would be amazed at what we're
Bateman,
accomplishing.
cram it. We have more things going on than your catalog.
So that you catch up, 10 meters, you're walking 30 feet. You catch up with them. The area where the shuttle had come down basically crunched down the grass. So there's a little bit of pushing aside, just like they did. But they're standing, and it's kind of what they're talking about. There's this constant movement of these blades of grass, not in unison, where they'll cross over each other.
like something from a Hong Kong action theater movie.
Right.
or
But
something,
instead of it being bamboo, it's these
It's
big
the grass,
blades
okay.
of grass, effectively.
And is the ground solid or is it wetland?
No, it's solid, plains type. I'll call it grassland.
Is it peat? Is it like...
It's not saturated.
No, it is
Okay.
absolutely not saturated.
Okay.
And as you come up, Navarro says to you, "That way, Sarge."
So what are we looking at? What are we looking at here?
We don't know. It just moved across, and the three of them are kind of hitting you with, "I saw it. It moved from left to right." The other one says, "Yeah, I saw it as well." Go ahead and give me an observation.
All right, observation. Just straight observation.
No. Always,
Okay.
unless I
Oh,
tell you guys
I see
otherwise,
what it is.
always with your
With the thing there.
stat added and any
Right
stress
there,
dice.
and then 1, and then 2 stress dice. All right, here we go.
Are the civilians still just kind of milling around?
Yeah, nobody's reacting because there hasn't been gunfire.
Nothing.
Nothing. All right.
That's so funny. Nothing.
So the four of you are basically looking through, and again, all you're seeing as far as movement at this point is the slight movement of the grasslands. The
Okay,
grass.
I'm gonna yell, Perkins! Perkins!
Navarro says, "Sarge, we tried that." You don't think he's being a smartass?
I didn't hear him yelling Perkins or whatever, right? Okay. Well, mind you, we got a contingent of civilians here. We need to pick our shots and make sure they connect with the enemy if there's an enemy presence here. Let's try and contain it quickly before
You got it, Sarge. So move out.
move out.
Okay.
Right.
So the three of them are now moving forward in a small span. Are you going with them?
going with them.
Going back?
Yep,
All right.
going with
Are
them.
you following behind them, or are you in the line of 4?
So they should know to move in a triangular formation, right? And then I'm in the back, like at the base of the triangle, the
Okay.
rear. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 myself.
All right. So with the 4th one missing because you don't have Perkins,
Right.
what would they do? Are you effectively
They'd be
in a
1,
diamond
2,
with
3,
you?
right?
You're at
And
the
then
back end of
I'm
the
at the
diamond.
back, yeah.
All right. So you have them moving out. What distance would they be away from each other?
Well, because the grass is thick enough to where,
Limited visibility.
right, we need to keep visibility on each other. So we're
So fairly
close,
small,
right?
maybe
Yeah,
2 meters distance.
yeah, so 2 meters, and then we're probably gonna fan out like 30 meters.
Okay. So Navarro is your normal forward,
Point man. All right.
right? So they're moving out. Everyone's kind of moving out slow. You don't get the feeling there's nerves, as in, oh my God, I'm scared. You get the feeling that there's nerves like, we're not sure what the hell we're looking at. Now, do you envision this squad has been on a bug hunt with you?
Yes.
Bug does not mean xenomorph.
Bug
means
indigenous species.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe that.
all right. So very good. So they are going to be very calm moving through it. You guys maybe go out for a couple of rounds.
Right.
You guys move out for maybe another 2 minutes. At which point, Navarro takes 3 shots, sporadic, boom, 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 and then turns around and says, "Sarge, I got movement. I don't think I got it." The others close up on Navarro, and I'm assuming you close up the back end.
If we're 2 meters apart, right, which is from here to here.
Yep.
Right. So do I see what he's firing at?
Nope.
Okay.
No, it's that thick. The distance of that's roughly 6.5 feet between you and the next person, because again, you're probably 12 from Navarro.
But we're close enough to where we can.
You can see 2 of the 3 always in the triangle. Excuse me. You can always see 2 of the 3 in the diamond as long as you guys maintain. Right. And this is not the Joker squad. I'm trying to follow. Because I have no military background, I'm trying to follow what you're saying, but they're going to be good at what they do. This is not a joke squad.
Okay.
So he's taken the short shots, has not hit anything. So as you guys collapse on him, he's pointing. He says, "Up that way."
Okay.
He says, "Something moved across right to left."
All right.
Maybe at 3 meters distance. He said, "I could see it because it changed the direction of the blades."
Hold your fire until you got a clear shot. We don't know what else is out here.
I'm sorry, Sarge. I thought I did.
You thought you held your fire?
No, I thought I had a clear shot.
All right. Well.
So you've got the other 2. You can see that so history for you. Navarro's a crack shot.
Okay.
There's a whole reason why he's the forward. His eyes are good and all of that.
Okay.
So with you castigating him, the other 2, you can just see there's a little bit of like, I would have shot, that kind of thing. Not that they're saying it, just you kind of are reading that from them. Like, if I thought I had the shot, I would have taken the shot. Because you did say, watch for civilians, make sure your shots count. Yeah. So at this point, Navarro says to you, keep moving, spread again.
We're going to start to move in a circular, to create like a perimeter, right? And come back around towards the ship.
So make a left-hand circle or a right-hand circle. Give you a position. Right-hand circle brings you to the front of the shuttle. Left-hand circle brings you to around the back of the shuttle, which of course you went past the back. But additionally, also brings you in the direction that you guys should be going to get you to the oil rig.
Okay.
I take it I hear the gunfire.
You heard the shot, so you kind of come into the ship.
Yeah.
And you see the 2 of them now. We've caught up to that point.
Okay, excellent. So I'll come up to you. You both see me. I have my gun out. All right, now what the hell's going on? Anybody see what's that gunfire going?
Lance Bateman is visibly alarmed at this situation.
Did you say that out loud to me? Or
do you narrate your own narration, or are you telling?
I'm just telling you a fact.
I might trip over and fall on a bullet otherwise. Okay, I'll look at you and then look to the doctor.
Don't
and
come
say,
to Lance Bateman to find out what's going on.
Doc, do you know what's going on?
I heard something about something moving out in the vegetation, but...
Oh, son of a bitch. And then I just kind of... I don't shove you aside, but I kind of like give you the motion to move. And I'll run down and be
down
like...
the ramp.
And I say, all right, everyone collect towards the center of the circle. Come on.
Now, are you trying to...
Command,
which is telling them what to do. Manipulate, which is sort of asking them to do what you want.
Oh, no, I'm commanding.
All right, by command. So they are different things, and command has a slightly different ability than manipulate. What you're doing generally would be a manipulate. I have no trouble with you rolling command. I'm just saying would generally be a manipulate over command.
It would be a manipulate?
Mm-hmm. Let me real quick read you, because there is a difference, and that's one of the ones. Those are the 2, of all the skills, those are the 2 hardest ones for me. Because they're so close in meaning most of the time.
It seems like a policeman type with no manipulation ability at all would still be able to corral the person.
Because in my mind, I'm not trying to manipulate them to do it. I'm just like, hey,
so
what I say.
Let me quickly read you the 2 of them.
I might have to shift points though.
Yeah.
Yep. Manipulation. Alien life forms may gut you without remorse, but the most truly dangerous beings in the alien universe are corporate agents and other schemers. To make another person see things your way, make an opposed roll for manipulation. In the case of command, if you survive the horrors of space, you'll need a good leader. You can use command in one of two ways. give orders. In combat, it's a slow action. You can bark orders to another character. They must be able to hear you, even if via a comm radio. Roll command. For every success, they get a +1 modifier to what they're doing. Or you can roll command to stop panic. So that's what I was saying, is it feels more like manipulation, and yes, you can move those points if you feel it.
Command specific and in combat only.
That's how
Manipulate
that-
is a general like influence type role.
Okay,
So
I
then
see. So command.
Manipulation is just a bad word for that.
that's-
It
yeah,
should
that's
just be
a
like
It's like an action that you take
Like
in
convince.
static round. Yeah.
Okay, so then I guess I will be. It's effectively the same. I'll use points wise. So
Very
I'll
good.
use manipulate.
Very good.
Oh, it's only 6s.
Only 6s, right.
Okay, well nobody is listening to me.
All right.
Oh,
So
wait,
funny.
sorry, I have to roll 2 more of these to make sure I don't panic. Okay, no panic.
All right. So as you're giving them the holler, I mean, it's not like they're going to ignore you. And nobody's here going, yeah, whatever, dude. You know, they all kind of look at you, recognize that you're the marshal. I'm assuming you're wearing your clothing.
Yeah.
You're not in your
I'm the
skivvies
goddamn
or anything
marshal here.
silly like that, right? Yeah. So it just takes them a little longer than you would have liked for them to kind of move into the center. Dr. Langtree already had them kind of set up. So the group is around you. Now they're looking expectantly at you like you're going to now tell them something.
Yeah. All right, folks. So I want everyone to stay here in the center. We got gunfire out in the surrounding area. Don't worry, no need to panic. The Marines have got this. I want you to all stay here. I keep an eye on you. We'll keep you nice and safe right here.
And at that point, and we're going to not do them, but at that point the questions start. What's going on? Why is the gunfire? How long before we get picked up? So, Sargent, your group, you continue to spread out, you make a
So
move.
I'm gonna tell.
And again, what did we decide? Circle left, which is around to the back end and towards the rig. Circle right brings you to the front.
all right, so I say Coombs on me, Navarro, Stevens flank around to the left towards the front of the ship, and we'll meet up.
So you and Coombs are taking the right hand.
Uh-huh.
Navarro and Stevens going left.
Yep.
Perfect. So as you guys spread out, you guys are in a 2, so you got one in front, one in back. I'm assuming you're backing up.
Yeah.
Okay. So on your cycle through, go ahead and give me another observation roll.
All right. Oh, well, I have a hit, but I also have an alien.
All right, go ahead and give me a panic roll.
All right, so again, what's the roll for panic?
You're going to roll a 6-sided die.
Just a 6-sided die.
You're going to add to it your current stress.
Okay, 2 plus 2 is 4.
You're good.
All right.
So in your observation, as you guys are moving around to the front, you get close to the front, you think you see something move, and you watch up front of you. Coombs does the same thing, looks exactly where you did. Stops dead in his tracks, assuming you would do the same. Stops dead in his tracks and just watches and you're assuming listens.
Okay.
As you guys are focused, thinking you're pretty sure you got it, this is the point at which you hear 3 gunshots. 1, 2 more, and then there's the crackle, got it, crackle, no I don't, and then you're back off comms, so your move at that point. That's going to potentially pull you, it definitely pulled Coombs out of his
Does
look.
Coombs have a motion tracker?
Do you know, is that a standard item for the Marines?
Believe that it is. You get, let's see.
I can't remember if that's it's a start with or is
Depends
it
on
an
what-
and.
So the starting equipment,
Because if it's an and, if it's actually starting, yes. If it's an
you
and,
get a choice of some gear.
right. If it's a choice, they will not have motion trackers coming down on the shove.
So each guy in the squad is going to have a piece from.
Is motion tracker in that choose?
Maybe the motion tracker is part of someone,
All right.
but no, it's
So
not
no,
part
so
of the.
nobody's going to be carrying. And again, you guys were literally coming down to base, so I also would not expect them to be loaded down
Yeah,
with
they weren't going
grenades.
on a mission.
Yeah. Carrying the gun,
Bam.
I'm good with. That makes some sense. Probably not grenades. Definitely not the motion tracker. So,
Right.
what are you gonna ask?
I was just wondering if he had the motion tracker. So,
He's looking at you.
well, we're going to continue our sweep because obviously, they don't. So there was a few shots that
Yep.
went off, and then nothing, right?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to say,
So Coombs
sound-
will look at you, Sarge.
as we keep moving, sound off. Navarro, Stevens,
So
sound off.
you get 2 crackles. The end of the second crackle, you hear Stevens, but you're fairly sure each of them did check
Okay.
in with whatever this interference is.
All right.
Coombs looks back at you and just gives you a thumbs up.
All right.
And you guys continue on your circle.
Keep sweeping, yeah.
Lance Bateman is slowly backing into the safety of the ship.
All right, Dr. Langtree.
I'm looking all around at the grass. I'm making sure no one's freaking out. Like, my concern is just crowd control
Crowd
and
control.
secondary.
So what you're doing at this point, Cole, is you got the group around you. When the gunshots go off, everyone looks in the same direction that you would have heard it, and then they look back at you.
All right, folks, all right. We're getting the plan set. Everything's fine. You know the Marines. They got this handled. Anything comes into my little jurisdiction right here, I got it handled too. So don't worry. We got the doc here. No problem. If anything goes wrong, everyone, it's going to be fine. We're getting the information. As soon as we get information more, we give it to you.
So, very attractive, well kept. You know, all the eyelashes in the right places. The makeup is perfect.
All those
of
eyelashes.
that. Well, this is
one of them.
every last one of them. That's who you see. Just so you understand, right? The shoe has just the slightest bit of grass coloring on the edges. You know, you can tell it's not somebody who normally walks in the grass. And she comes up and she says, "So, is it Marshall?"
Yes.
So Marshall,
yes,
what is
ma'am.
the plan? And immediately she then sweeps the whole group. We would all like to know what your plan is at this point.
Me, I know about going to the oil rig, or no, right?
Not yet.
It's only him.
As far as I know, Sarge, you haven't told them about the oil rig situation, right? You have not told anyone that's where you're going.
Well, these two know that we're going to establish comms once we get to the rig.
Actually, I take that back. Langtree, when you were in the cockpit, I think you did hear that's where you guys were supposed to go, because you were in there sitting with the other two.
And she needed a helmet.
Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Langtree did.
Okay,
So actually, Dr. Langtree is the only one that does know. So you're up the ramp when that question came. But no, you do not yet know.
So that I'm trying to be like vague, give information.
I'll put a hand on your shoulder and I'll say, if you don't mind, Marshall.
So you come down the ramp?
I'll
Yeah.
say, yeah. All right, everyone, remain calm. Dr. Langtree here's got part of a plan going on, and you know, let's listen to what the good doctor has to say.
So at this time, our transport's going to meet us at the oil rig we passed as we were landing. It's about 2 miles in that direction.
Right, okay.
Currently, our Marine outfit is securing our safety and the clearest path there. The most convenient and helpful thing you can do is stay quiet and maybe take a knee. At this point, if it's important, we'll tell you.
And as I shout, that's right, everybody, let's go ahead and listen to the doctor. Everyone remain calm, stay quiet. We're going to go ahead and get this all set, get us over to Andie's drop. Is that what it was?
Yep,
called?
that's where they're supposed to be going.
I go to
So the woman now kind of shifts her focus from Cole to you, and she says, "So, Dr. Langtree, how did you come by this information?" You're getting the feeling that she's used to asking questions.
She's a journalist.
Very good. If I could give
Did you
character
say that?
points, I would, but that's perfect. Well, if you said it, he's up inside the
I
he's
can
up
just hear
inside
him.
the shuttle.
Yeah.
So I'll reach out with my hand and I'll say, my name's Dr. Langtree. I didn't catch your name.
Katrina Hill.
Katrina Hill.
Seeks and News.
Seeks the news. Well, Katrina, I will give you all the information that you need to make it to the oil rig. At this time, it's to quietly wait with the rest of everybody.
So she smiles and she looks at everyone else. Are we all good with this? You're feeling already the instigator side, but you can see that most everybody still is not relaxed or calm.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than yeah, let's go, you know, everyone seems to kind of be coded into being quiet,
So I'm gonna
which
creep
seems to
out
take the
from
steam from her.
overhearing this conversation. I'm gonna creep out from my hole, and I'll wrap my arm around Miss Hill and say, "Don't worry, Miss Hill. As you know, Seeks and Company policy is that we will be evacuated with no harm very shortly from the oil rig. We just need to get there." And I'll try to manipulate her into dropping her line of questioning.
All right, go ahead and give me a manipulation roll.
Right.
And it's going to be a combined manipulation.
It's 9 plus 2 stress.
Good God.
This is hard to get a 6. I got a lot of 5s though.
No
Nothing.
successes?
That's crazy.
All right, so
just
she actually has success. So she takes the hand, and you guys can see the level of disgust. She takes your hand off of her shoulder, lets it down. She says, "I understand that, and you work for whom?"
I'm obviously taking back. I'm sure you're aware of me, Miss Hill. I mean, being employed by Seeks and News, you should be aware of Seeks and Employee of the Year 2179, Lance Bateman.
Lance Bateman. Why does that name sound familiar? It sounds really familiar to me. Why do I know you? She asks.
I'm just gonna wait for her to put it
Wait a
together.
minute,
because-
LV 221. You're not the person we want to be listening to.
Excuse me?
So she looks back now at the marshal and says, Marshal, he's not the one that set up the evacuation, right? And you can see the crowd's getting, it's like, wait, the thing is, it's turned.
This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna kind of, not puff my chest up in a threatening. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna kind of straighten up and say, all right, now, Miss Hill, what I need you to do is I need you to sit down and I need you to stop talking. I need everybody to calm down. This is just making things worse. We need to relax. We got a plan. Mr. Bateman can be sitting with you. As far as I know, he has no involvement in the plan. So what I need
well
you all
below my
to
pay
do
grade,
is
Miss
sit
Hill.
down. Next thing we need is for anyone to panic. There's no reason to panic, folks. And I'm like eyeballing her to like, you better sit the hell down.
Give me a manipulation roll. I'm going to have you add 1 die to whatever your normal roll is. Not a stress die, a regular
I'm
die.
trying to stifle the news. And then I panic and start shooting. No one panic! Blame! I actually didn't panic and got 2 successes.
She has 1, so you were able to kind of her. She finally backs down and
bulldog.
It'd be funny if she attacked you instead.
Yeah, can't she panic?
fist flying.
All right, anyone else want to panic? Click.
All right, so Sarge, you finish your wrap around the outside.
Do I hear any of this exchange, going on?
You're
shouting.
hearing at distance. You'll
Okay.
every so often hear pieces. It's not coming through clearly. You can hear a couple of raised voices. In your knowledge, combats, fights, barroom brawls.
All right.
This is puff chess. This is nothing beyond as of yet.
So once we regroup with the other Marines, rather we move back to the crowd and say,
Well, so before you move
Okay.
back to the crowd, as you move on to the other side, you got Navarro says, Sarge, I'm sorry, I was sure I saw it. And Steven says, I did too. Something is out there. Something's moving. We saw it. Navarro says, it doesn't seem to be knocking down the blades. As we shot and took the shots, we can find where the shots damaged the blades. Of brass is what I'm talking about. It has damaged the blades, but this thing is moving through without tromping anything.
secure those apologies, soldier. Just stay on point. We're going to move back to the civilians. We're going to start moving towards the rig. This crash probably drew whatever it was that's running around the grass. Let's move away from this site as quickly as we can. There's no sign of Perkins.
No, sir. No, sir.
He's KIA. Move on.
No, Sarge. No, right? They would never say sir. That's me screwing up.
I
That
work
would have
for a
been
living,
beat
right.
out in
Yeah,
basic.
yeah.
All right. So that's me screwing up,
Yeah.
not the Marines. So no, Sarge. No, Sarge.
All right.
So
So we'll move back, right? And let's cover each other. Let's move back. Let's secure the assets and move towards the rig.
okay. So at this point, you guys will all see the Marines coming back in from effectively the opposite side through the grass area. That'll kind of spook everyone until they come in, and you've got the comforting Marines.
Hate to break up the PTA meeting here, boys and girls, but it's time to go.
Wonderful. See, folks, nothing to worry about. We got the Marines here. They're going to take us to that rendezvous point so we can get extracted.
So Miss Hill, all of you watching, you'll notice Miss Hill gives a very quick look towards Cole, and then she immediately walks towards the sergeant and says, "So, Commander," that's what she addressed you as. "So, Commander,
Man,
what were those shots for?"
You can call me Sergeant Rictor. I work for a living, man.
Sergeant Rictor, I'm sorry, Sergeant Rictor. What were the shots for? What were
I'm
we
gonna
shooting at?
come up as she starts moving. I'm walking to, and I'll say, Sergeant Rictor, this is Hill. She's a reporter.
Gotcha.
Oh, so you've seen my work? She smiles. She's about as smug as Lance, but just not as good at delivery.
We can compare resumes when we get to safety. Right now, there's probably an indigenous species in the area, probably brought on by the crash. What we're going to do is we're going to calmly and quietly start to move to a location, a more secure location that's not too far from here. You're going to follow my Marines' commands at all time and do as we say.
So at this point, she's looking at you. The crowd of people are looking at you.
All right, everybody, let's get up. We're going to move that way.
So how are you taking them out?
Right? How
How are you
Line
with a
up.
gun?
All right, everyone, line up right there.
You have
Put
you
your
and
hand-
3 other Marines. How are you moving to the rig?
So, Marshal, you want to help provide extra perimeter security on this?
Of course, Sergeant. You point me, you let me know where you want me. I want to make sure these civilians get out of here nice and safe. They're under my protection now. I'm going to have to look over everything. So, my protection, your protection. Let's go.
Bateman, Doc, yeah, you should probably fall on me and fall in on me. And so, Navarro, Coombs, go ahead and take point. And me and the marshal here will take the rear. And so we'll have the civilians in the middle.
So Stevens is just kind of... Sarge?
We got Navarro and Coombs. Oh, Stevens, yeah, sorry. Stevens with me as well.
Got it, Sarge.
Actually, Stevens run mid. He can run mid with up mid with the guys, and we'll cover
Got
the
it,
rear.
Sarge.
So
The other two quickly move to the front. I mean, this is a crack squad. This
Right.
isn't screw off. So
we want to move quietly and as swiftly through the grass as we can. Now, I know how far away the rig is, right? It's 30 miles, right?
the rig is approximately...
Oil rig was 2 miles away, and then Andie's drop was
Oh, right.
30
The
miles.
rig.
The rig is approximately 2 miles, and you know the general direction it is.
Okay.
You may miss it by, as much as, 600 feet and have to trail back.
Okay.
Navarro is walking away, looks back, and says, Sarge, pulls out a knife. We cutting or we pushing through?
We're pushing through.
All right, and then stows it and starts moving. So now you got civilians kind of looking between the two of you and watching the Marines go.
I heard him there. Son.
Yep.
I'm gonna glance at the grass. Are there any ticks on the grass blades?
So, go ahead.
I hate ticks.
I love it. Give me an observation roll.
Space Lyme disease.
Can I observe him observing that?
Well, yeah. As everyone's starting to move, he kind of stops and starts looking up the blades of grass.
Can I observe her observing him?
I got one alien.
That's it.
One alien.
I got something.
Panics. You look at the grass and you panic.
Everywhere.
I am not walking through this grass.
Go ahead. Hang on. Go ahead. And give me a. Oh my God.
We are going to have to cut this.
We're gonna have to calm his ass down.
All right. So what do you got?
Okay, I got a 5 and I got 2, so I'm at 7.
So nervous twitch. So at this point,
no.
everybody is close enough. Everybody gains another stress level. Does anyone have something that goes off when you gain stress? I think there's one.
No.
It's not talent. There's one thing.
So
So
I'm making
everyone's
everybody
kind of.
There's got to be ticks in this grass, you guys. There's no way that there's no insect blood sucking tick.
I come through the grass all up close, nose to nose. Bateman, you want to tell me exactly what's going on here?
I mean, look at this. We need to be chopping this grass down as we go. We can't be wandering through here, getting ticks all in our clothes. When's the next time we're gonna get the tick shower? I mean,
Hey, we got an unknown indigenous species in the area that could cause an imminent threat to
Yeah.
yours and my safety.
alien ticks.
Right. So what I suggest you do is calm down and move forward with the group. Right.
Mr. Bateman, if you tuck your pant leg into your socks, it will help prevent any ticks crawling up your legs. Keep your hands in front of you, you'll be fine.
I guess I'll give that a
For
shot.
everyone else, come on, let's get in the line 2 by 2, side by side. We're gonna go ahead and trail through this grass. We're gonna go to the rendezvous point.
Was that a stress relieving? What was the?
I'm gonna try and
I don't think
I
I don't think
We're
so.
not able to do that.
You just made this a stressful.
pull out my cutting torch, to Bateman and go.
She calmed me down.
If
with
you
that
get a tick,
soothing voice.
I'll get it out.
Now I'm even less inclined to
Now,
go through this.
now move along.
So you can see that, and again, the stress has affected everyone. It has effects mainly on the player characters for roles and such, but you can see everyone is now nervous. You got people, everybody is
You're
pushing.
freaking people out. Your fear of bugs is freaking people out. You need to stow that shit.
There's people now kind of pushing like looking before they even put their hand on it, then they're pushing it. What's happened is this has slowed the speed at which we're moving out. But everyone is slowly going forward. Where, Bateman, do you end
I'm
up?
at the as far back at the end without being behind.
So
the
you're where the
Marines
marshal
and the
Yeah,
and
I think
so
so.
the marshal and
they're
the sergeant
basically
are.
pushing me forward.
Actually, the marshal, sergeant, and Coombs are all back there. So it's the four of you at the back end.
Yeah, Sergeant Rictor instructed myself and Bateman to stay by him.
Oh, God. So then you're back there as well. So the five of you at the back. So perfect. All right.
The NPCs are in the front. We don't.
They're fodder.
They mow through them, we'll know there's a problem. Put the expendables up front.
So
Wait, how many? Okay, before I go, I want to actually take a head count. You don't have to tell me how many, but I know how many civilians there are there.
So civilians there were, when you left the clearing, 16.
16.
I
Okay.
don't like that.
That's important to
Well,
me.
you can no longer, because we're not cutting the grass down, you cannot see the full line.
No, that's fine.
Total
Beforehand.
total shuttle complement was 24. Perkins, we know, is not currently amongst the group, so the total number should be 23. You know that there's 3 player characters, 4 Marines, 1 is a player character, so 16 left.
Okay.
So again, that distance, even though people are trying to move, they're moving slower than they should, and they clump up periodically. At one point, for you guys, because this group is at the back with Coombs, a number of the civilians kind of are starting to bunch up and just looking around, pushing on things, and it's not going to be Hill, it's going to be just one of the civilians looks your way and says, Sergeant, can I ask you, I'm sorry, what does this mean?
Yeah, what's it got?
The person has their elbow cocked, fist up, and just holding it up this way, at which point you hear 3 shots just in succession. 1, 2, 3.
That means stop. Right.
Hey, everyone, stop! Which is what the person now yells out. So that you see the group has stopped. There's no more gunfire anymore.
Right.
I have my gun out if it wasn't said.
So
everybody is now looking around in the general direction of fire, which is forward.
I think who was up front? Who was running point? It was
your point is Navarro and Stevens.
Navarro and Stevens. Sound off. Give me a sit rep.
So
why am I hearing gunfire?
You get a crackle, another crackle, and at this point you can hear somebody running back towards you. So it's Stevens up there and says, so, and Stevens is now looking at all the what they would consider civilians standing around you and says, Sarge, can I speak to you over here?
Speak, soldier. Did I tell you to fall back?
No, Sarge. So
why'd you break formation?
And there's 2 more shots as he's saying this up front.
Hold your fire, goddammit.
He says, Sarge, we're not hearing anything. I know you're speaking. We're getting a crackle. There's something up there. We can't pick it out. Navarro keeps saying he's got it and then takes a shot.
Just because there's something there doesn't mean you fire at it, okay?
Sarge, and Stevens looks at all 3 of them and looks at you. It's tracking us, Sarge.
So let it track us. Once we get to the rig, and it wants to put up a fight, then we'll take it down.
Okay, and Stevens turns right around and hoofs it up just as fast as he can.
So what we'll try and do is what we'll try and do. I don't know how long of a stretch our group is. We'll try and tighten it up.
Okay.
So that we don't have to be strictly restricted to radio communications. We could have voice-to-voice communication. We can hear each other as we move through the grass.
Loud holler, unless you guys are in a really big jungle.
Right.
Civilians heard that, right?
Civilians did not hear you guys talking. Stevens is not hollering
Okay,
it.
good.
Stevens was trying to not allow you 3 to hear it,
Okay.
so it's that quiet.
So I'm gonna say, because I heard it,
Yep.
to the civilians. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and move on. We're going at a snail's pace. We need to go a bit faster. Let's get moving. We want to get to our rendezvous point so we can all get on home.
Okay, so we move now for a good solid 15 minutes. You guys are starting to move down a very slight grade, but you guys are aware of it. And at the bottom of the grade, you guys are getting a little bit of moisture where you're stepping and the water is coming up maybe a 1/4 inch around your boots, but to the point where you can see the moisture, assuming water, that it's there.
Are they bugs? Like a...
Yeah, you're seeing simple stuff
There's
like
simple
gnats.
bugs,
Yeah,
okay,
there's
yeah.
not nothing.
But
nothing's really affecting you. And in the situation of ticks, now that you guys have had quite a while to move, you guys are seeing larger bugs, something the size of your thumb, not your full thumb, I'm sorry, the pad of your thumb, moving on the blades of grass. If you move them, they move away from you. This isn't a thing where you put your finger there and romp, they come towards you. They're going the exact opposite way. So the creatures out there appear not to have any interest in you, probably less than you have in them, except for him.
Lance Bateman's Argyle dress socks are pulled all the way up over his calf.
As far as you can stretch them without ripping them.
And his dress slacks are tucked into the bottom of his...
I'm going to tell, so it's Navarro and Stevens on point, right?
Navarro and Stevens.
I'm going to say Navarro and Stevens...
You're hollering this, just so you know. You're literally yelling.
How far we were able to tighten up the group?
You're still about 15 meters. Yeah, about 15 meters distance with this group, from front to back.
So what I'll do is I'm going to tell Coombs to Stevens is mid, so I'm in the rear. Stevens is mid, and Navarro's in the front. Correct.
Yep.
All right. So
yeah, you're right. That would be what it would be.
yeah. So I let Coombs know, who's back with me, hey, move forward, double time it forward. Let Stevens know we're going to tighten up the formation. And looks like we might be going down into a draw. I don't want to end up in a bog and getting slowed down. So let's try and skirt this thing if we can. Watch the land grade as we move through this stuff.
So Coombs makes the run up front, passes by. You can see at the point where he stops Stevens real quick, and then continues up front. You guys got to get him moving. I'm just going to let you know, each time the group stops, it's going to be one of the two of you have to get them moving again.
Well, I'm assuming that the Marines in the front are going to continue to guide us.
They will.
If the civilians aren't following.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Let's
that's
go.
what I'm saying. All right, everyone move. I'm just saying you guys are going to have to keep moving them each time. So Coombs runs back from the front, comes up. You guys are now going up a slight grade, and you're noticing now that you are starting to see, if you're looking, little bit of sand amongst the other filtered detritus on the ground. The sand stands out. You've got to be moving towards some kind of an open space for it to get dried out enough for that.
If we were to extrapolate from like where the sun was when we landed versus now, how much more light do we have?
You've probably got another 2 hours at least.
Okay.
You feel like unless you are going into some kind of a canyon, you're probably good. And there was nothing on the land. And again, landing, you didn't get to survey.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
on quick look, you did not see like a volcano peak or a snow-covered peak.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Glacier.
Okay.
All right, so you guys are, again, a little bit more tightened up. Now the mass is pretty much trampling down the blades of grass. So it's a little bit quicker than it was, but now you're slowed up, not because they're as much concerned as people are making sure that as they push a blade down, that they're not snapping it back and slicing someone or smacking someone on the head going down. Every once in a while somebody does, and you can tell that the nerves are working on because you have people barking at each other. But periodically they will either look at Stevens, who's in the middle amongst them, and kind of calm down, or the ones near the back will kind of look to you guys and see that you guys do not seem to be ruffled, you guys being the marshal and the sergeant. You guys come up and you're back on a straight path. That straight path goes for about 30 miles. Excuse me. That straight path goes for about 30 minutes. At which point, again, the front end of the civilians, someone yells "stop," and everyone stops.
Okay.
And then there's a holler. There's a holler from the front. Sarge, you need to come up here. Doesn't sound freaked out or anything like that.
So I'll move up.
Okay. As you come up and through, Coombs stays, right?
Well, right now it's me and the marshal in the rear.
I thought it was.
Right. So Coombs is basically the
I thought
move.
Stevens was mid, Coombs was back with you. Navarro
Right.
was front.
Coombs moved forward to relay messages to skirt the draw.
Right. And then came back to you or not?
I don't know. You told me.
No, he came back. That's what I
Okay, he
was
came
asking.
back. All right. So I'm gonna have Coombs go in and assist with Stevens in mid,
In
just to
mid.
keep the
All
crowd under wraps.
So we currently have Marshall, we have Lance, and we have the doctor at the back. We have you moving through the middle, dropping off Coombs with Stevens. You end up in the front with Navarro. Yeah. And again, now we've cut it back. We're maybe 10 meters distance from front to back.
All right.
As you get up front and come through,
What now?
you're seeing grass as far as you can see, but when you get up to Navarro says, and puts his hand out, says, "Sarge," and points, and you see that the grass now, there is a ledge.
All right.
You can see it, again, you've got grass and it's still moving with that slight wave, but you can see the ledge that he's pointing at without a doubt.
Okay. So how far down does the grass continue past the edge of the ledge, or does it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like the grass over whatever the ledge distance is growing from something. So he moves forward with you, and you guys look down. Go ahead and give me an observation.
All right. I'm gonna get an extra stress die here. All right. Thanks to our company man. I've got 3 hits.
That stress die gave you
So
a hit.
I've got 3 hits. So
And 0 aliens.
0 as in 0 aliens, correct?
All right. So observation has in there a list of questions. It's right there, and we marked it with the paper there.
Okay.
Observation won't be probably what it's marked on, but it's going to be that section. If you want to go through and let me know. For the rest of you at the back, while he's looking for what questions he wants to use for those extra successes, and I think they're called
let's see.
stunts. So
You talking about the stunts?
yeah.
Okay. For every extra you roll, you get to know the answer to one of these questions.
So go ahead and look them over and let me know what you're thinking.
One of them is, how do I get in, past, or away? So how do I get past the ledge?
All right, so as you look, because you're corralled by distance, you don't think there's a way, quote-unquote, around it. But looking down, it looks like you potentially can come down the side of this. You're going to be trailing down a hill. As you kick around at it, it doesn't look completely solid. People are going to have to move down blade to blade. But it looks like there's enough of a slant or slope that the blades are growing all the way down. So you're just going to move blade to blade.
Are the blades sturdy enough to break our fall if we were sliding down?
If you push on them, yeah, you think that not necessarily one, but you would be slow to the point where they wouldn't, because you can lean on the blade and it doesn't fall down like a corn stalk.
Okay.
So
All
it looks to you like that is going to be presently the best way down.
All right, and then my other question, my other stunt, is it coming from me? Meaning, are these things that have been tracking us that look like they are waiting for their opportunity to strike, or
So,
are they just observing out of instinctual
believe-
curiosity?
You have to believe some portion of this. Navarro has seen them. You've had from the group of Marines that it looks like you're being tracked. That's what they said. There's been no interaction for quite a while now, quite a number of minutes.
Right.
There's been no interaction. You have seen nothing at the back. Nobody anywhere in the group has said they've seen anything at this point.
Probably just sheer kind of instinctual curiosity, right?
Potentially, the other possibility you think is they're territorial. Maybe you've moved out of that territory. None of this is certain, but that's your feeling. You don't see anything moving at this point.
Okay. So I'm gonna say, Navarro, let's start maneuvering down this grade and figure out how far down it is.
Okay, Sargent. And immediately stows the gun.
Use the grass to your advantage to break any movements. But let's just see if how we're going to be able to negotiate this obstacle.
So minute you give leave, Navarro starts working down. Navarro's in good shape. All your Marines, of course, are in good shape. Navarro has no trouble going down. Doesn't slip. The ground seems to be fairly sturdy. Now, keep in mind, nice solid combat boots and moving down slowly, not running, not getting pushed. But gets down a ways, and you can hear the holler up. You're guessing maybe it's 25 feet down. Maybe. Navarro hollers up and says, Sarge, I think I'm at a slow point. I think I'm at a stopping point here. It looks like it spans out. Do you want me to step farther in? It looks like we're at the bottom, but I can't be certain.
Let's find out. Recon it.
Okay. And so, if everybody else is quiet, the only thing you're hearing at this point is that kind of odd shh,
Okay.
shh for the blades going together. But as you watch, you can see some portion of the blades moving in what you would assume would be some type of a chain pattern.
Okay.
It's maybe 3 minutes. Navarro comes back and says, Sarge, as far as I can tell, we're at the bottom. I did not find the other end, if you will. I don't know if we're dropping into a canyon or this is the lower space, but it looks like we're at bottom here. He says there's a bit of moisture down here. I'm getting it over my boots.
Okay. So,
And he's back at bottom. He doesn't come back up. But says, Sarge, should I come back up?
yeah, come on, regroup.
All right, so, and it doesn't look like he has a whole lot of trouble tromping back up the hill.
All right. So now I'm going to address the entire group.
Okay,
Where I
so
go,
come back in.
All right, folks. Here's the short of it. Short of it is we've been tasked to protect company employees. The names of Doc, the good doctor here, and our company man.
So you as the Marines you are saying the Marines are specifically tasked to save them.
To protect these two, right?
You're telling all the civilians.
I'm telling everybody this.
Okay.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
as as auxiliary personnel on our shuttle, that joined us for the trip, you are more than welcome to accompany us, to our LZ. We are moving approximately 2 miles in an outwardly direction to a more secure location where we'll be able to establish communications and hope for some type of dust off. You are also allowed to remain here in hopes of some other type of extraction, because you're not our responsibility.
I'll lean over to Dr. Langtree. These people are lucky we were on board.
These people are about to riot.
So yeah, it doesn't take very long before quite a few of the voices kind of pick up. You're Marines. You're supposed to safeguard all humanity. That's what your job is. And that's not one person. There's a couple people. Yeah. And then you got other ones saying, I'm Seegson. I'm employee. I outrank her.
All right, everyone.
I don't need to be reminded of my duties.
Everyone, calm down. Even if the Marines ain't here to safeguard you, y'all got me. I'm the marshal of these parts. Y'all gonna be safe. You're under my protection. If the Marines don't want to help you, you gotta guarantee that I will be helping you. I'll make sure all of you get out of this safely as possibly can be. So let's go ahead, calm down, ignore the Marines. Apparently they ain't gonna be helping us. That's my job.
A lot of law dogs feel the same way, but know this: anyone that does come in this, we might be putting you in harm's way.
That starts immediately.
We're going to be maneuvering down this into this draw, and it's going to start getting wet. I don't know how far, and I don't know what we're going to have to go through in order to get to where we need to go, but we're going to get there. Anyone that goes with us will have our protection.
So it's quiet for a moment, and Miss Hill turns towards you, and before she speaks, because you're facing back, off to your left, Sargent, and off to everyone else's right, you hear, and we'll end right there.
Oh,
Yes.
she better not survive, or this is gonna be bad for publicity.
You got to give the civilians a chance to, like, if they don't want to, like, look, if you're coming along, you're going to have to do what we say, because we're about to, walking through the grass.
I see
is
your
one
logic.
thing.
I do
Next
too.
thing is, like,
I
now,
just loved it that he was doing it in front of all the
Yeah,
civilians.
I see
No,
your logic.
it was really addressed to the group of civilians. Like, I'd like to be able to leave them behind because they're more of a liability and just bring these guys. But you know what? We're not going to just totally turn the blind eye to them. But, like, they got to understand that if you're coming with us, you'll have our protection. But you better fucking,
Pull your
stay
weight,
on your
because we got a
toes,
priority
right? Yeah,
here.
we ain't here,
If it was up to the Marines, they would line you up, mow you down, because then it'd be easier for everybody else.
Y'all, wait here. We're going to go get help. All right?
Everybody stay here.
Stay with the shuttle. Yeah.
Hey, everybody, I know I'm the marshal. I should stay with you here while we wait.
Abandon those people, right?
But they need me here too. I gotta make sure y'all get safe, so I'm gonna follow them.
I got orders.
All right.
Oh my god.
Thank you for listening to another NCRP Productions podcast. To stay on top of everything we're doing, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook, all at NCRP Productions. You can show your support and help us continue to produce content by joining our Patreon. We offer additional podcasts like our B-sides and have GM materials, maps, and other fun things you can discover over time. You can find our podcasts on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google, and many other fine podcast sites. Just look for us at NCRP Productions. We value your thoughts, so please don't hesitate to leave us feedback or comments. And if you would like to contact us directly, you can email us at ncrpproductions@gmail.com.